Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Talking Tradesman. Today, in a unique situation, we have two people in the studio. We have Matt here, and then we also have Stace off camera over there. These guys have come down from Custom Build Bros all the way to have a chat with me in the studio about their story, their journey. And as I say, it's a unique situation. It's the first time I've had two podcast guests simultaneously. So how we're going to do this, I'm going to have a chat with Matt first, then I'm going to have a chat with Stace. And Stacey's going to torment Matt all the way through by the looks of things. So, yeah, Matt, let's talk, mate. So let's go back to the beginning, mate. I'll give you a start point. How did Custom Build Bros get started?
All right, so we like me and Jack. So Jack's obviously my business partner, but I've known him for since he was probably about 7, 8 years old. So I was like friends with his family, like his brother first, and all the brothers.
Okay.
And then he's always done carpentry his whole life. My sister, years later, rang me one night and she was with Jack and they ended up together. So he's like my brother-in-law now.
Oh, right, okay.
So like it was like a family, like friends to family sort of thing. He done carpentry and I run like a building company and like done windows for myself for years. But like loved woodwork. That's what I've always liked doing. And his dad passed and it forced him into like he ran the company for a little while. His dad had a building company.
Yeah.
He ran that for a little while. And then obviously for whatever reason they all sort of separated and shut the company, and then he went on his own way and done carpentry. And I'd just be honest with you, I just hated the general building trade. Was like what I was doing was just, it was miserable for me, you know, like it was miserable. It was just a sort of a means to an end of earning money. So I said to Jack about working together and we started doing bits of work together. I had like a yard that I had like a container. Started in that, doing little like wardrobe jobs and bits and pieces and just trying to make our way. And we ended up just moving for that grew. We then went into like, bought the yard behind it. And then we grew out of that quickly and then moved into another one. Grew out of that and then we moved into an even bigger one.
This is all doing like custom wardrobes and stuff like that?
We do anything really. Like anything that's made from wood, like we've built little Ferris go round, like for sweet carts. We've done
proper bespoke work.
We've done resin work. We've done oak work. We've worked with live edge. We really like all like the mad shit. So like working with like all the live edge timber where you get to cut these big fucking trunks up in, and then you can make the big meaty tables. That's what we like doing.
Okay, I know that. Wow, I see the sort of things. I mean, those things are normally dead Instagram friendly, aren't they?
Yeah,
they
do like them. We took a job on years ago. Funny, like I've got a customer that we was building a summer house, bits and pieces for him, and he was going to have like a granite worktop, and I was like, "Have you seen these resin ones?" Showed him them, and at the time, me and Jack was like, I said to Jack we'd do one, and obviously we'd never done one before. We'd never worked with resin, and then we had like this. It was like 3 meters long, down the sides, like returned,
like a single piece, or
we tried to get it out of a single piece. It's my only regret looking back at it weren't a single piece because we couldn't mite the edges down. Okay. It sat on top of each other, but it was pretty seamless. It looked the bollocks. But it was like that particular piece got poured in between. Like some of it was done at the yard, and it went into winter, and you can't pour resin in the winter.
Okay.
So we poured the legs of that table in my flat in Southend, like a 3rd floor flat. And then you're pouring like 20 litres of resin into this mould, not really thinking about it. Obviously, if it got loose, it would have honestly caused fucking havoc because once it's set,
you ain't getting it
off. You
ain't
getting it off for nothing. No. It would literally ruined.
So, what's your customer base? So, do you do these pieces and then look to sell them, or do you get commission do you get people that come to you and go, "I want this"?
No, we get a bit of both. So we get people that commission us to make stuff. We also buy a lot of. We've got a bit of a wood addiction, you know. Like so, we go and just buy trunks of wood, trees, and we get it sliced. Keep it at our yards. We've got a big unit now.
Yeah.
So we keep it all there. We've got like trees that we've accumulated over years.
So you get like you see a piece or like a chunk of wood, and then you see the potential in what you can do.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's exactly like that, you know.
I mean, it might be
So-
a bit of a speculative comparison here, but I remember listening to a thing about like Michelangelo and the way he used to carve like stone, and it was like he said he used to look at it, and that the piece was always there.
Yeah,
It was just a case of removing
yeah.
like the excess around it.
It's a pretty good way of looking at it, really, isn't it?
Mm.
And to be honest with you, it's not far off from the truth, because it is. You like, I know, speaking for me and speaking for Jack as well. Like, wood's one of them right funny things. Like me and him will walk into a wood yard, we'll be sniffing it. He's got a thing about smelling, right?
Sniffing wood.
Sniffing wood, yeah. They all smell different.
There's worse
Some
things
of
to
them smell
sniff than
like
that.
shit. Some of them smell really nice. Yeah, there is worse things. So I've been through that as well. But it's like it's just like a really nice. It's a nice environment to be around as well. We like this. It's just it's a good business. So we've done all sorts of things in the building trade.
Sounds dead creative, to be fair with you guys, what
We've
you're doing.
sort of got rid of a lot of the. We've said to ourselves we don't want to do certain stuff, and we've stuck to that lately. And that's been the difference in the last 2 years with me and Jack, is we've stuck to what we've
So how
wanted to do.
how long have Custom Build Bros been going?
So me and Jack have been working together for, I reckon, probably about 7 years, I guess, when we started working with each other. But I think Custom Build Bros only in the third year of, I think it's third year books. I'm getting the nod.
The nod. Stace, the fact keeper in the background over there.
Good, didn't she?
She's been ever so quiet.
I did think that. Yeah, so like it's been about 3 years now properly, and then the last 7 months, obviously, I haven't mentioned Stacey.
Yeah,
come on board, but that didn't happen till we sort of got to. So we moved from our workshop that we'd been in for about 4 years, 5 years maybe, where we'd been moving from workshop to workshop, and then what happened? We've stepped up basically into a big brick built, like proper workshop, big yard out the front. Last June, I want to say, no, yeah, it was June, because I think we've been in there a year now, or July maybe. Maybe it doesn't matter, but we moved into there, and it's really nice. Set the workshop up and everything like that, and then was you there before, or was you there? November. Yeah, so when did you? Yeah, so November, Stacey started coming around the workshop, and she just never left.
So she just, you make that sound like she just drifted in one day off the street,
honestly,
and never left.
No, so it was pretty much like that, but I knew Stacey, so she wasn't quite a stranger. My little girl goes to Stacey's kids' school, so we sort of met down the school for nearly 3 years. I've known Stace. Like, we've always got along. It's been like, do you know what I mean? It's been fun. We've always said about doing work, because she's always been in marketing, and me and Jack are fucking hopeless at marketing. Like,
just getting the information in there, mate. Where's your business based?
Essex.
So you're Essex, but you guys, do you ship all over the UK or?
Yeah, we ship everywhere.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we can go anywhere. It's obviously dependent on the product itself. We do have a website as well.
Mate, listen, plug it. I'm not. You listen. You guys have given up your time to come and talk to me today. So plug your business as much as you want.
We do obviously sell products on our website. Like
say that again, because I was talking over you.
custombuildbros.co.uk.
There you go. Go check them out.
We do. We've and it's a fine website as well. You want to see it?
Is that your creation, Stace? Yeah, Stace is giving the nod.
It's tip top. She's honestly. That's what I'm saying. So me and Jack are pair of Neanderthals, really. Like, we're good with bits of wood. We like working. Like,
most of us are, though, aren't we?
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Like, it is. It's always been just me and Jack as the business, you know. Like, obviously, that's why people have come to us. It tends to be a lot of people we go to as well. We make a good connection with them, and then we stay working. We just keep working coming. So it's quite nice. We haven't had to advertise too much. But our social media and our presence, obviously, which is the world now, is just useless. Which I always used to say to Stace for like 2 years. Come and help me, and then just one day she'd just come to the workshop, our new one, and just never left, did you?
Do you know what though, mate? So it's a point worth touching on, really, because well, obviously you and Jack have got your talent in what you do, hands-on with the wood, with the carpentry and stuff like that. But when you run a business, there's that whole element to it of marketing, promotion, social media, shifting your products. And like a lot of us in the trades, we're not trained in that.
No.
Like you don't get taught that when you learn your trade. You don't sort of learn your carpentry trade and then they go on, by the way, this is how social media works. Like you can get taught how to do the job. And I years ago, I used to do some business coaching, and that was one of the things I used to say a lot, is you can get some incredible tradespeople with no idea how to run a business. Because it's two different things. And most successful businesses are ran by somebody who's good at delegating. So I think it's impossible to do everything yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. And it is. And people think if you own a business that you're doing well. It is hard work. Like constant work, and you don't like it. For us, the actual business side of it wasn't really getting done properly. We used to do our returns and we used to do our VAT returns, and everything was fine, but we wouldn't be able to say, right, how much did we earn in January last year? But like we wouldn't be able to do that. You know what it's like running a building company. It's like all over the place. You have jobs coming in here, left, right. So it's not like where we buy and where we sell stuff, not to buy, where we sell like obviously products online as well that we might have made. I don't know. I might have been feeling a bit throaty on a Sunday and made something, and then we put it online. We don't know what time I've put into that. We sort of know what the materials and rough costing on it is. Yeah, it's worth what the product's worth at the end of the day. What someone's willing to pay for it.
How do you price that then? Like if you don't take into account the hours that go into it, is it based on? How do you come up with your pricing?
No, we do. We do. But sometimes a lot of the stuff, it might be something that we don't make a lot of. So you'd say, I don't know, for instance, like we've got odd resin tables that are there, for instance. So those tables we wouldn't know roughly what time we've spent, but we don't always sit there and set a clock and like, you know what it's like sanding one of those resin tables. It's a day job. It's a whole day of getting them all from nothing to sanding nice and shiny. It's like it's a massive procedure. Yeah, people don't see it, do they? That's not what people see.
I guess they're one-offs then, aren't they?
Yeah, a lot of them are. But we've tried to make ways of getting them so there are easy, like you can sell them online quite nicely, which we have, but they are one-offs. Each one's different. Every single one, you could have one plank. As you know, you get one plank of wood, cut it 10 times. Every bit of wood's different, so it's not like a generic thing.
What's like the most interesting commission that you've had come in, or most obscure thing that's made you think, "Across, I hadn't had to do that before"?
Yeah, the boat was a good one. Done a canal boat. Like a Rosie and Jim boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them.
What, as in the whole thing?
So the whole thing. So like not built that
a real
boat,
life,
so stripped out inside.
Yeah.
So when I got there, it was literally, it was a shithole. It was it was just fucked. All the inside was fucked. All the back bit was fucked. It was like it stunk, and then so we ripped that out. And I put like all that birchwood liner through it, like lightened it all up, built like a nice. MO was this little step thing at the back. So the whole boat, I done like a sofa bed that you pulled out. It was all out of birch ply, so it's all like hardware and hardwood ply. And it was like, and then that folded out, folded back in, like a nice kitchen with a little resin river top.
The whole thing.
Out. Yeah, we've done the whole thing. Literally, I've done it all through the winter as well. And honestly, when I tell you, it was funny. So he used to get there in the morning, and he had this metal kettle he left me with, and he'd always stock up the coffees. He's a good old boy, he was. And you'd sit there in the morning, and it was honestly fucking freezing. It was like whatever the temperature was outside, inside the boat, 'cause it was made of steel. It was just freezing.
Was it dry docked or you weren't on?
No,
It was on the water.
So it was
Fucking
honestly, it was
hell.
freezing, and obviously trying to cut scribes in a boat on the water was
Yeah.
honestly it was a nightmare. But it was a fun one to do.
Mm.
Yeah,
You ever done any camper vans? Just
yeah.
yeah.
Done a couple
I
of
thought
camper
with you
vans.
saying you'd done boats.
Yeah, I've done a couple of camper vans. That's what led on to the boat. They'd seen us do some camper
Right.
vans, but again, we're solely one off. I think I've done. I've done 3 camper vans, 3 campers, and then one like I've had partying.
Mm.
Yeah, we done one for Jeff Brazier. Do you know Jeff Brazier?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know he is. Yeah.
No, it's good you know because
Yeah.
then we have to go. Do you remember Jade Riddick's wife?
Yeah, that's it. James' wife. Yeah, man, I know him. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, so we done one for him.
A camper.
Yeah, it was like some like Ace caravan thing. It was like a small, tiny little caravan,
Oh, okay.
and I cut the whole side of it out. Nearly
Yeah.
collapsed. It's so funny. You know, one of them moments when you do something and you think like this could ruin this caravan, or it could work because there's quite a lot of them. Like, obviously, where everything is bespoke, and I'm completely self-taught in like joinery and carpentry. I've done it for years, like since I was like, I've been interested in woodwork since I was probably about 7 years old. My granddad, we used to build like little dolls' houses and stuff.
Nice.
So I was always tinkering about, but because we are self-taught, there's so many ways to do it, and so yeah, I stood there with half his caravan hanging out, and when we took it apart, it was going, but it worked. I slid the wall in straight after, and it worked.
That's the thing with bespoke, though, isn't it? Like bespoke generally hasn't been done before, so
no, exactly.
You know,
there's no rule to it, which is kind of what I like.
Yeah,
I don't really like rules.
I mean, the camper van thing interests me because, like, there seems to be such a huge markup on them. Like, to me, because I see, like, for example, I've got a Transit Custom myself, and there's a garage up the road, and I drive past it, and the Transit Custom campers are like 65, 70 grand.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll tell you what, it's a lot of work in them.
Yeah.
And what it is, I was saying the other day, if you've got, because it's a good thing to do, don't get me wrong, but you've got to have the money to front it.
Mm.
And then if I've built a camper van, I've got this 60, 70 grand camper van at the front of my woodworking shop, and then they've got a 60, 70 camper van at the shop down the road, they're going to buy it from them every time. It's a bit of a funny one.
Yeah.
But we have thought about that. We tend to like, because we like doing everything, a lot of our work is unitary based. So like a lot of our day to day is all sort of like fitted furniture, wardrobes.
Okay.
Nice little bespokeness, but it's all bespoke.
Mm.
Even if I come to your house to do like a metre wardrobe in the corner of your house, it's still going to be bespoke. It's going to be as you want it rather than saying it's a metre wardrobe.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
And that's the main majority of your business now?
Yeah, was as well as now we're sort of getting into the more product range as well.
What products are you doing?
We've got a bigger workshop now, so obviously we've got a lot more space to play about with. So we've got this new engraving machine at the minute. So we're making like signs, say for like signs, for instance, for your podcast.
You mean to say you've come here without a bespoke sign for me?
We've only just got the machine. We've actually only just got the machine. So Stacey's actually Stacey's little baby.
Yeah. Is that like one of them laser cutter engraver things?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like,
I've seen a few of them kicking about recently.
This is like a router one, so it's like a CNC machine.
Mm.
Yeah, he's a running joke about the shaper. It's because it's expensive. You know, women like leave things everywhere, don't they?
So Stace isn't looking after your expensive equipment. Is that what we're getting here?
Our financial advisor's not financially advising.
Some internal politics going on here.
Yeah, no, it's good. So so that's basically what we do like day to day. And then obviously we did move to this lovely new yard and got it all up and running. Jack, he decided to have a stroke, just randomly at 33 years old.
So worth putting in here, obviously there's 2 out of a 3-person sort of partnership going on. And obviously Jack isn't here today for obvious reasons that we're probably going to get into. So tell me a bit about that then, Matt. Tell me what happened.
So he went for a run. He was like, he went for a run. So he's quite a fit guy. Like he doesn't smoke. Like unlike myself. Like he doesn't drink. Like he doesn't. He's quite a fit guy. And he was training for this like some stupid fucking running. It was like run 100 miles in
like an ultra marathon.
Yeah, something ridiculous. And then he went for a quite a long run. It weren't even that long a run when you really think about it. Fucking only done 8 miles. But at the end of it, he started feeling a bit funny. Didn't realise, and Jack being Jack, because he's quite like, do you know what I mean? He's a macho man, don't really go to the doctors. He went asleep. And then when he obviously woke up, my sister was there, and he was going to like the cupboards, and he was like trying to find his pants in the kitchen drawer, turning lights on with the cupboards, and my sister was like saying, "Hey, right," I took him down the hospital, and he was having a stroke. They found a hole in his heart, so he'd obviously had that since birth, like a hole in his heart.
Yeah,
and yeah, he was fucked. He was just like that. I think he was in there the first time round for 2 weeks, and then he started having seizures, like, and this whole time he's still Jack inside. You know what I mean? He'd go in there, but he'd never been through all that before, so he was really panicking then, and it set him into this. He's just started getting very anxious about things, and like it was sort of like really hard, obviously.
I mean, I guess in one way, the fact that happened to him, if he had a hole in his heart and he was looking at doing those extreme events, is possibly a good thing that happened rather than, because I'd imagine putting that much stress on your heart, if he did do like a 100-mile run, could have been catastrophic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was obviously meant to happen, wasn't it? Things happen for a reason at the end of the day. And because it was funny, because obviously I've known him his whole life pretty much, you know, so I know what he's like. Like I've carried like I've got to jobs at 11 o'clock at night with a man and carried up like 3 wardrobes worth of sheet material up 6 flights of stairs, like puffing out of our arse, like and nothing's obviously happened then. Like we've done that countless times. I've grafted with him so hard over the last 5 years growing this business for then that to happen on a run. It was just really like it was like just shocking. And obviously we had the business together, so it was like it just sort of all went on like it just sort of all just changed overnight, you know.
How long ago was this, Matt?
November, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's really not that long ago at all.
No, not really. So he was obviously it just fucked him, and it was for a long time. But he's obviously still. It's not a quick recovery for him either, and it's hard for him sitting at home. Like I constantly try and get him involved as much as possible. Like we get him on the phone.
So I guess mentally he's at a point where obviously being physically active, it's got to be really tough for him to have to stop. And then as well as that, he must be, I mean, I can't imagine, mate, but knowing that he's got that, I guess is he worried about doing anything physical in case it causes it again?
Yeah, definitely. Like it really caused him to be like he gets very anxious about things, and it's really knocked him down. Like one a good thing. And obviously for me and him, like me and him have grown it together always. We've always been there every day. Like I see him more than anything. And obviously he's with my sister as well. So it's like, and then all of a sudden, he ain't there anymore. It was like, and the place we're at the minute is massive as well. It was just like, it was.
So you've got that instant like, pressure of what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah, the business, it weren't even too much the pressure, to be fair with you. Pressure I deal with. It was more the fact of it is like we've done all that together to get to where we are now in the workshop we need to be in, and then all of a sudden Jack ain't there no more. Because it took me months to realisation, to be fair. I'd say up until like last month.
It's in a way though, mate. It's like a bereavement, though, isn't it? You're always working with your best mate, and then all of a sudden, he's 100%. Not there. And no doubt you've got the concern, and you're worried about him and what's going on with him.
Yeah, 100%. I am. and I'm still trying to keep his business afloat while we're all there. Do you know what I mean? But he'll come back, obviously, but it's not going to be. I think for him, when he first had the stroke, and I'll be honest, even for me, I thought it was like you don't realise how strokes like serious and how much in-depth damage a stroke does to you. And I didn't know. I didn't realise.
What damage has it done?
Like, as in terms of his presence in like things. So like, it's done a lot of damage to his memory side of things. Whereas he was, which will hopefully come back for him. He's done his eyesight. He's done like lost 40% of his vision. Like
is this stuff that's
like got blinkers.
Gonna come back, or
the eyesight won't? No, unfortunately. So he's constantly like a horse, like this. Fucking savage.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's obviously so eager to get back to work because that's what we love. Like, me and him love it. We don't do this job. I'm not rich. Like, I don't own a house. I do this job because I absolutely love it, and I do what we put in everything to our work we do.
It's got to be a lot of pressure, though, mate. I mean, I know you said you cope with the pressure, but just thinking there was 2, then there's 1. So automatically, to me, that means your work output goes down by 50%.
Yeah, it does.
But your outgoings remain the same because you've still got the same unit. There's still got the same pressures there.
Yeah, of course.
But now it's all on you. Like, how have you been dealing with that?
Yeah, all right. I've just been putting a lot of work, and I've set it a different way. So we're trying to get a few people in to help us, which is another problem, obviously, because, as I said, like, me and Jack are the business, and we do go that extra mile. And you know yourself, get people in, they don't work the same as you, and they definitely don't go the extra mile.
Nobody works as hard in your business as you do, mate.
No, it's just, our business is all about the final finish. Like, we want that as fine as we can get it, and that's what we need.
Is everything you do wood finishing, or do you do like paint finishing as well?
We do. We spray. Yeah, we do spray. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do spray. I've just switched over to some new paint, actually, which I actually can't wait to spray the next kitchen.
Mate, I'll do spraying as well, so yeah, a little bit in common there. Which paint have you switched over to?
We use water-based paint.
Yeah, and me,
really thinners.
Yeah.
We use one from Renner.
Renner's great, yeah. Which one did we use in before?
Morel's we was using. We've gone up the ladder. Okay. So we've only been spraying 2.5 years.
Renner's great, mate. Sayalac is great as well.
Sayalac.
Renner and Sayalac are on par.
Yeah, because we obviously start. So basically, me and Jack, from the very start, if there's something new to do, then we learn it. Or if there's or we buy the tool to do the job, and then we learn that. That's how we've run our business, and that's how we've got where we are. Rather than just being like, I'll get someone to do that. So we've started spraying, and where we are now, I've got a beautiful, big, massive room up top. It's all out of the way from the obviously workshop's downstairs. It's upstairs, perfect. Perfect, man. And we've got a nice little setup in there now.
I love that mentality, though, mate. I can't remember who it was. It was either like Richard Branson, Elon Musk, somebody like that, who famously said, "Say yes, then learn how."
Yeah,
that's how you grow a business.
That's how I've lived my life, pretty much.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it, as Stace says.
Mate, everything is to a degree, though.
The end of the day, the way I see the building trade in general is like you need a good common sense, and you'll put your hand to all of it, really. Like, it's just about whether you're willing to apply yourself enough for that particular thing. Nobody's born knowing anything, are they? No, exactly.
And the problem is, like, in the building trades, you do get a degree of tribalism where you get like, well, you're a carpenter, so you can't do electric. Yeah. You're not an electrician, you can't do electrics. You're not a painter, you can't do painting. So there's all these things where people get a bit tribal, but the reality is, like you said, generally speaking, if you can turn your hand to carpentry, you'll be able to plaster, you'll be able to do electrics, you'll be able to do decorating. Yeah. And it's just the same for everybody, but people like to grab onto that title of I'm whatever it is. So
yeah, they do. Play, and no one wants to learn electrics. Let's be honest.
Jump back and forwards a bit, Stace. Oh, it's up to you. You can talk about that bit. That's fine.
Sure. Yeah. No. We ain't got there. We've just gone off the conversation.
Stace, we've got. We've got to the Stace turned up one day and never left. So that's where we're at.
That's where we're at.
So, all right then, for Stacey's benefit, let's pull back to when Stace never left. So, like, day one, she's come down. How did that all come about then, mate? Like, so Stace has come in one day, and what's the actual meat and bones of it? Because she didn't just stand in the corner.
No,
did she?
Yes, she did. No, well, she did just stand in the corner with her camera out. So Stace come along, obviously, and Stace has got like she's done like marketing background for like a lighting company, but it's all online, very posh, and I can imagine very office based. And obviously, she's then come down to mine and Jack's workshop, which, as you can imagine, is just me and him. And we just abuse each other all day long.
And did you always, when Stace came down, did you always have the thing in your head of we want to employ her?
No, it wasn't. It was more like it was more of it was never really even mentioned, was it? So we didn't even really mention the fact of her working for us at first. She just come down and there was like an instant love for what we do, and it was more in like mine, her, and Jack's connection between each other. And then obviously she started videoing us, and then she was like, we could do this and that, and then we just said, look, just do whatever. And then from then on, it just works like between the three of us. Like me and Jack have got like, obviously we have our bit covered with the woodwork side of it. Like I've got the most wildest imagination you could possibly imagine, and Jack and me, like Jack's got like the building acumen, and it all just works perfectly. But no one ever sees anything that we do, and Stacey's like the missing link to that, you know?
Yeah.
So she just started picturing and videoing us, and then obviously having a laugh along the way. And then she's got into the trade shows, and she just loves it. Loves a bit of wood.
So did you guys have social? Mate, I completely missed that one then.
Did
you guys have social channels before Stace?
We had socials, but it was just sort of socials that we'd post a picture of our work, and then maybe put a story on every 2 weeks, like
right,
with an awkward little we didn't really have socials like we have now.
Where did that come then? Where was that moment where you guys went, we want her to be here full time, we're going to pay her, she's going to be a part of the business?
Not long after, really, wasn't it? Really, a month or so, I think. Yeah, because obviously, what that had, so basically, obviously, just going back a little bit, because I did get a bit excited, I suppose. So, obviously, Stace did come down, and we all started going like this, and it wasn't really. It was more like not a fun thing. Like she was doing us a favour, more or less. Like she was just helping us out. But obviously, we had such a laugh, and then obviously this Jack had his stroke. So then obviously Stacey was there throughout the whole of it, you know, like I was there on my own, and Stacey has been there the whole way through, making sure I'm all right, still keeping up the videos, keeping Jack. Like, she's been in the middle basically between it all.
So when Jack had his stroke, Stacey wasn't like part of the business.
She was part of the business as such, where she was getting interest in what we're doing. We were doing videos with Stace, and like she was helping us out, like I say. But when that happened, it was like a timing thing, wasn't it? Where it was like she was in a similar position to what I was in my job when I met Jack, where she served her purpose there. She didn't like it anymore, and she was looking for something exciting to do. And obviously, hanging around with two plums in a workshop, making cool shit is exciting for a lion. She just loves it. So it was like, when that happened to Jack, Stace was there the whole way through. You know, she's been there every day. So it's good for both. It's grown mine and Jack's relationship back, because it was hard at first. Because obviously, you're not going to get over that thing where one's doing the work, one of them's sitting at home, and I know what Jack's like. He don't want to sit at home, he probably hates the fact. So me and him had like a funny misunderstanding. Whereas, like, of course I'm going to work, because I know he would do the same for me. And I feel like there was a bit of a miscommunication. And like I said, Stacey's that connection between us all. It just meshes.
And the three of you guys were.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, mate, like, by the sounds of it, when Jack does get back on his feet and back in, there'll be no stopping the three of you.
No, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. And it will be a great day. And to be honest, he's had some good news lately, I think, hasn't he? So hopefully it won't be too long.
So after Jack had his stroke, that was when you sort of said, Stace, right, come and be a part of it officially.
Yeah.
Have you even had that conversation? You have?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, she's got to be a part of it now, because it is the three of us. We're saying now it's now like not just me and Jack. Like it is the three of us, and it is the three of us to everyone that watches any of the socials or anything like that. That is the three of us now, and it just
That's
works
good,
really perfect. Which you never would have thought, because I would have never said it 2 years ago and said we'll have a woman in our with us. Like, because it's rare for a woman to be in trade, and it's a good thing to see as well.
100%.
I love the fact that she like really appreciates in what we're doing.
Well, it sounds of it, mate. From an outsider's point of view, I think it all sounds like it was almost like divine intervention anyway.
Yeah,
Like, not obviously not that happening to Jack, but the fact that Stace was there when it did. Because like if you would have not had Stace there, you would have been completely alone at that point.
Yeah, it would have been, and it would have been it would have been a lot harder. Because it honestly as well, it's not that you're coming into like a place, because it was quite new. We'd literally just done the rooms, done everything how we wanted it. So it was like, and the new start was about to sort of go. We had like Stacey, you'd built a website by that point, didn't you? Yeah, so it's like it was like it was all ready to go, and then it was like stop. It was mad.
Bless him.
It was.
It's tough, mate.
Yeah, it was quite mad, like mad time, and it still is, to be fair, because he's nowhere near out of the woods. He needs an operation, basically. I can't remember the name of the operation. What's it called? PFO.
Yeah, it goes like, over my head, that one.
It's like
is that to address?
One goes in there and
his
blows
heart?
a little balloon up in there,
Right?
And it closes the hole, I think, and then obviously he's got a bit of recovery time, but then he should be alright. But until then, he's sort of on a bit of borrowed time, really.
Yeah. So is he at the moment? What is he just told? He's got to like light duties or no duties? Kind of like just got to take it easy in life in general.
Yeah, no, he's been told to sat at home at the minute.
Really?
So he's getting moaned at by everyone sitting down.
Must be horrendous.
It must be fucking horrible, honestly. I know him as well. He's an animal of the graft. Like, he loves it. So for him, he's the sort of man you could show a pile of wood as high as the sky and be like, you cut all that to 200 bits, and he just fucking motor through the lot.
Yeah.
He's just a machine. So for him to now be in the position he's in now, it's hell for him. It's hell for a lot of people, obviously, but
yeah, that's tough, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, there's some high-profile like cases, and like the footballers that have these kind of things happen, and then they have the operation, they get back to football.
Yeah.
So hopefully, down the line, once he recovers, he'll be. I mean, if they said like the long-term prognosis of it, is that like you'll be back to where you was in terms of what you can do?
No, I don't think they say. They don't really say too much today. I think they keep it quite vague, because then you incriminate yourself if you don't recover at all.
Only got to give hope, though.
I mean, yeah, of course. I think he's, in terms of his memory and everything like that. Of course, he's gonna start going back, because what will happen, I think, it kills the cells. Once they're dead, they're dead. But you can always regenerate new ones.
Yeah, neural plasticity. They refer to it as. So it's like the creation of new connections in the brain.
That's it.
So yeah, that's absolutely 100% right. Do you know what, mate? I've sat here with a few guests who have told me that they've been in situations where, like one in particular, he was told like that he would lose severe cognitive function after a car accident. This was. Then he was told he'd never walk again. And he made 100% recovery and walked out of the hospital. So like the human body is an incredible thing. I think if you got that drive to recover.
I think, like you were saying earlier, though, your brain, it drives your body. Your body could be completely in bits. If you've got the power in your head and you fully believe that you're going to...
man.
That's what the power is. You know, from your like, all those dark thoughts and times of madness, you can overthink it. Your brain's the one that's telling everything to do that, your body to do anything. So.
Yeah, definitely, mate. 100% agree with that.
If you're like, yeah. I think a lot of, and G's quite a strong, like, Jack's quite a strong-minded person, which is how I know he will be fine. but it's still not nice to see him. I remember I went to his mum, so when he first come out of hospital, I think about a week after he come out of hospital, he was staying at his mum's, and I'd seen him a few times in hospital, obviously, but it was the first time I'd seen him outside of hospital, and I went to see him, and he scared the shit out of me. Come walking into the lounge, looked like he was about 100 years old, fucking could barely walk, fucking lie down on the sofa. It did scare the shit out of me.
That must have been horrible,
Yeah,
mate, seeing you, mate, like that.
Yeah, it was. I left. I didn't stay very long. But that was horrible, because then obviously I then had to go back thinking it weren't going to be that bad. It'd be out in a month and I'll be having back in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I ain't.
Hit home.
Yeah. I was saying the other day I'm thinking of getting one of them like electric hoovers, that go a little robot hoover, a tripod, and then put my phone on there and it could just sit on there and go around the workshop.
Is that like Stacey's replacements, is it?
It could do my job. Good thinking, that. Get two of them.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it was a bit of a...
It's tough times, mate, and you guys are right in the thick of it at the moment, aren't you? So,
yeah, so it's like, it's a bit bittersweet.
well, I mean, all the best, like Jack, obviously, I'm sure that you'll be listening to this at some point. So from my perspective, I've never met you, but all the best in your recovery, mate. I wish you all the best. Hope it's a swift recovery and you get back to where you were. I'm sure you will. You sound like a very determined person. So, yeah, it's... and you've got two great mates that are going to push you along by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Should we get on to Stacey's bit?
You want to do the switcheroo, Nick?
Have I introduced you enough?
Right, for the first time ever, we're going to switch guests. We're back in the room with guest number 2, Stace. So following on from where Matt left off. So yeah, here we go. You're in the hot seat.
Hello.
How are you feeling?
All right.
I've got to put this out there. Actually, for the first time ever, anyone who's watching, you'll see that I'm sat over here. I've been told I've got to sit over this side to give Stace a good side.
Sorry about that.
There we go. Comes into the studio, demanding straight away. Most demanding guest.
What can I say?
So yeah, let's let's go back to from your perspective, I guess. Like we'll go back to like how you know these guys, and I know there's possibly some overlaps, but let's do it anyway. So how did you get to know the lads?
So I think, like Matt was saying, we've been friends for a few years just through the kids at school, and Matt just incessantly kept saying to me, please come and help me. And I was like, no. And it was just weird because it was like the right place at the right time. And I think we'd spoke about it so much. And I think there was a few texts flying back. I mean, we're both pretty unreliable with time. So it was always like, we'll meet next week, come in next week. And then we just locked in a date, and it was like the second to last week of November. And I just went up there, and it was weird because the first time I meet people, so obviously I knew Matt, but I'd never met Jack before. Coughing.
Be edited out, Stacey. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I think the first time I meet people, I just try and suss out the situation because I can be quite a fireball. So I thought, I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to suss out the situation, meet Jack. Obviously, I knew the partnership that they had, and I knew that obviously coming in and being the way that I am, I'm very, you've got to trust me, but I've got a vision, and it's very rare you find anyone that lets you run with that. And I could kind of see what needed to be done, and I knew the work involved. So we kind of had a chat, and Matt and I are very similar, that our minds run away with us. So there was loads of things at the beginning flying around. But it was a case for me of just stripping it right back. So I went away and I made a really bougie proposal. I sent it over to them. And I was like, yeah, this is what I can bring to the table, really. You need a website. Your socials are shit. Let me help.
So you came in, looked at what they've got, looked at their setup, and then went, right, I can do all these things.
That's what I'd normally do with any of my clients. Obviously, I've got a marketing background. So if ever I took on a new client, I'd just say, right, what do you want to gain from this? And then work back.
Yeah.
But obviously the guys had such potential in their work, but it was all just kind of coming in really sporadically. It wasn't consistent in their kind of advertising or their social presence, really. And coming from a marketing background, I knew how important that was.
It's an interesting angle, actually, like in two ways. So, because I've had outside conversations about like the construction industry not really utilising social media management, because so many other industries do, but so many in the construction industry, when they're dealing with big money, don't, and we try and manage everything ourselves, including social media. And a lot of the time we ain't got the time or the expertise to do it. So, like, massive credit to you for getting involved. Massive credit to the lads for actually going, yeah, we'll hand that over.
I think that was the penny drop moment for me, really, because we just stood in front of each other for the first time, and it was just the weirdest thing. It was like we'd all just been like best friends forever. It was like, as cliche as it sounds, we just all, it's rare, you know, particularly two guys. I mean, I've worked obviously in lighting. Again, lighting's a very male dominated industry.
Yeah,
I can hold my own, and I think it just was weird that it just, I mean, they're a next level of banter, these two, and the shit I have to deal with on a daily basis, but I give it as good as I get, and I think it just worked. So, and then to have kind of two people, and like what Matt said, you know, I was in a job that served a purpose, really, and it was quite mundane in the sense I was just on the task wheel, and I was sort of running a team, like a marketing department, and it was kind of being the doer of all, and, you know, achieving nothing really at the end of it. So there was no kind of job satisfaction, and I worked from home, and that's quite a lonely thing to do when you've done it for years. So then to be thrown into an environment where you've just inherited two best mates and you're having fun every day, and also to be trusted, you know, from day one, I just looked at them both, and I still remember the conversation. We just said, we will smash this, you've just got to trust me. And they were like, oh. And they just went, do you know what, just go with it. And they've never once, like, they've just gassed me up from day one, because I think they knew what they needed. That, and like Matt said, it was kind of the missing piece, really, and it's just worked.
You're sticking your head in the camera shot then, Matt.
He's interrupted more times than I interrupted him.
I just saw you out the corner of your eye there, lean forward and then shoot back, like the realisation. How far can you get? Yeah, there you go. There you are. Yeah, you got to be in the safe zone, mate. Lean back. You're all right. You're safe there. Sorry, Stace. Where were we?
I can't remember.
No, I think where we were at, like, it's good that the lads have given you that control, but also it's you've took a gamble, leaving a job and then jumping in with a relatively new business.
A big old gamble.
A big old gamble.
Very, very well paid job.
Yeah.
But look, my mentality is you find a job you love and you never work a day in your life. And I've got out of bed every day and been excited to drive to the yard and be there and just appreciate. Like, I've actually cried over the content folder. I'm that sad that I look at their work and it makes me cry, because they are so talented. And I just think, like, they need to be put, like, people need to see this. And I think one of the first things I kind of said to them was, look, we need to work on our branding. Like, the brand on who we are is equally as important as the work that you guys do.
Yeah.
And they, at the beginning, they were like, no way, like, it's the work. Like, people want to look at pictures of the work. And I'm like, if we push the brand, people don't buy products, they buy people. And if we, you know, what we have, the three of us, if we can get in front of people, it's going to be magic. And every conversation is an opportunity. And that's how we've kind of gone through the growth stage, is just talking to as many people as we can, going to these trade shows, going to sort of network with people at any opportunity that we have, and just being us. And it's working up until now, you know. And it's just really unfortunate timing of everything with Jack, you know. It really was, because it was like the first conversations were like the second to last week in November, and then he had the stroke on the 2nd of December.
And how was that for you? Like, how did that whole thing impact you? I mean, you've made that sort of jump over, and then that's happened initially. Like, I mean, there's two things there because, again, credit to you, you've stuck with it. Like, at that point, you could have gone, ah, shit, backstep. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? Like, I'm a firm believer of everything happens for a reason, and I do think that I was meant to come along at that time, because outside of the workshop, you know, on our website we've wrote that quote, you know, our relationship extends outside the workshop. And I've become a massive support for Jack, like mentally. You know, I've been through my own mental health shit over the years. Jack had never experienced it, and obviously he's Matt's sister, his missus is fucking, her nickname's Good Woman. Like, she is the most unbelievable person. But it's a lot, you know, like Jack's just gone through so much, so I've been there for him in that way as well, you know. And when he has been able to come down and we've spent time with him and we've been around there and we FaceTime all the time, it's good that we're kind of pulling him out of that, you know. It's giving him that hope where it's really fucking shit. Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword, because it's such an exciting time for growth, but then it's bittersweet because we've lost a limb, essentially. Like, we've lost him.
Yeah.
And it literally just happened so quick. And I've been through, you know, Jack. I was actually with Jack about 3 weeks ago, and he had a TIA. It was just me and him on our own, and you left.
I was there.
We was together at Jack's, and Matt had just left, and then we didn't realise at the time how bad it was.
I mean, I know I asked you this pre-record, so I know what it is, but for anyone listening, because I always look at it from a perspective of, if I didn't know, they won't know.
Yeah.
What's a TIA?
So a TIA is like a mini stroke. So they tend to follow after having a big stroke. So we don't know, you don't really know how, because they can't really tell you. So obviously we was together, and it was just the maddest thing, because we were standing there, we was all sitting there, and we was all laughing and joking. Obviously we go and see him regularly, and we politic. That's our word when we want to make decisions about the business. We say we need to politic, and then we all sit down. And he was just, it was fine, and we was just laughing, and then it just happened. Like, and it is like the adverts, you know, when they say their speech and the way they like look, and the slowness of their kind of cognitive, and the way they speak. And he just said, I don't feel very well. He just kept saying, my head's spinning, I'm really dizzy. And then in my head I'm thinking, obviously I've seen him have like anxiety before, so I was like, you know, is he having a really bad panic attack? But they don't tend to come on in them situations. When you're with two people you trust the most, you don't tend to just get a random, I mean, you can get a random panic attack, but I didn't think it was. And we're kind of like, I said, come and sit down, Jack, and we'll just see how you go. And then I just knew, because it was like his eyes. I mean, I thought he was either having another seizure, or I kind of knew it was that. And his just eyes were just everywhere. And he just said to me, because my nickname's Stick. And he just looked at me, he said, what's happening to me, Stick? And I was like, I don't know. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it must be, yeah.
Like, the love I have for him, he's like my brother. You know, I've spent every day with him up until a point, and then it just...
What do you do in that situation? Like, again, because somebody listening might benefit from the knowledge, so, like, what do you do?
I actually was really calm, because Matt had not long left, so we didn't realise at the point when Matt left, so I just knew. And in my head I was just thinking of Soph, you know, his partner. I was just thinking, like, I've got to phone her now and say to her, you know. But I just knew, in a way, I just stayed calm, and I spoke to Soph, and I just knew we had to get him to hospital quick. And I just said,
is that what you do?
Yeah, you have to do it within, like, obviously we didn't know if it was a big one, a little one at that point, but you just have to get them there as quick as you can. So Soph was literally 5 minutes around the corner. So I just said to her, you need to get back, this isn't right. Because I tried to get him to walk. I think he was in like one room, and I tried to get him to another, and he was just like bouncing, like he was just everywhere. And he kept saying, that side of my body's really heavy. So she came back, and I took the babies off of her, the kids, and had them, and then she took him up there, and lo and behold, but they couldn't actually confirm whether it was because it was in the same place, which again, he's like a walking miracle. Like, who has a TIA in the same place so it doesn't affect anything more? So in a way, yeah, it's mad. I mean, it has. I think he's gone backwards in his recovery since this last one. The slowness and the memory and just the tiredness, really. He wasn't sleeping half as much as he is now. He can only be awake for a couple of hours and then he's sort of sleeping again. So, but hopefully after this operation, it's like the PFO whole closure, he's going to be a machine of a man.
Yeah, I'm sure. But like, it's got to be. I mean, that must have been terrifying for you. I don't know a fat lot about strokes, if I'm honest. I only know like the advert. There was an advert that was on telly a lot, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Where it shows like a fire in the brain. So that's how I always think of it.
Calm, but also seeing your best friend go through that.
Yeah.
I'll never forget his face. Like it terrified me because I didn't know within half an hour whether he was just going to deteriorate or a massive stroke was going to have. It was pretty aggy.
Yeah, I bet, man.
It was a massive wig out, as he likes to call it.
Yeah.
But he's no, I'm glad that he's, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. You said he's had 2 of those, didn't you? Or was it?
He's had a couple of episodes. Again, he doesn't know whether it was, but he had another one with us. He had a funny turn and then it passed. But again, it could have been. But it's hard to sort of tell. But so it's like what Matt said, it is borrowed time and it's, I kind of navigate the coordination of the scheduling of what we do because Matt, there's so much on. So it got to a point where I was just like, our priority is just keeping you on that sofa, and even being on FaceTime and talking to us over the phone, it takes it out of him. I mean, and he is talking to people. He could never have come and done anything like this because it's just the processing of just having conversations.
Yeah.
With us, he knows we're like, the trust is, he can just sort of sit there and go, I can't talk to you both anymore. And, it's not awkward. And I think it's just free flowing it. Whereas when you've got to concentrate and talk, it's a different story. But it's hard because we're telling him to stay at home and then we're all moaning at him for being lazy. You could be helping, bloke.
Yeah.
But it's a hard one, isn't it?
I think the banter probably keeps him going.
Oh, yeah.
To an extent.
Oh, he micromanages me from a distance. Like I said, we've got this new tool and it's like a running joke. It's like he knows when I touch it, he rings me. He's like, have you put the shaper back in the box? And I'm like, no. He's like,
so that's a point worth touching on, actually. So you've gone in as like social media management and that kind of side of like the admin running the business, but now you're on the tools.
It gave me the ick at the beginning because they referred to me as the marketing director. And I was like, I was like, please stop referring to me as that. And it's like, now we've just got to the point where we're free business partners. That's my business partner.
So you're like fully on the tools now.
I'm fascinated by it.
Is it? I guess is it your long-term intention
100%.
to be able to?
In 5 years, I'll be fully
like one of these guys. Yeah.
But I am fascinated by it, and I'm hard to teach because I don't.
Is that so? Is it, Matt?
I don't listen very well. I like to go on.
That's an endorsement. Not bad for somebody that's not used tools before. Yeah.
I actually used a handheld router for handheld router for the first time and did some sort of like drip grooves in a chopping board. And it was funny because he did a couple and then I was like, can I do one? And he was like, absolutely not. You'll literally take your finger off. And I was like, please let me do one. He was like, fine. He's like, go on then. And I was like, no, don't be stubborn. Like, I listen. No, I'm learning to listen. And I was adamant that I wanted to do it. And he was like, go on then, do it. And I was like, no, don't have that mentality. Like, teach me. I really want to learn. And then I think he could see. And then he sort of showed me how to do it. And then the words that came out of his mouth were, we got it on camera. Well, that was surprising. And I just was like, what do you mean? And then it was just, but
surprising that you didn't lose a finger, or surprising that you did it right?
So good.
Oh, okay.
I used a wild tool.
Tamed a wild tool. Fair play. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, going back to that, I am absolutely fascinated by it, and I know, like, I will be on the tools in like 5 years' time.
That's cool. That's cool.
Like, that's the sort of person I am. I don't stop at, like, there's no limits to, and I say it all the time. I'm a multi-purpose person. Like, I do just like to get my hands into anything. I love a challenge. Nothing. There's no room for no. Like, you just do it until you can do it.
Why would there be though? Do you know what I mean? Like, why?
So many
why
people
not?
play safe.
Yeah.
Like, and I could have so easily come in and done a half-assed job and done the website and gone. And I came in, and from day one, I just gave 110%.
It's self-limiting beliefs, isn't it?
Yeah,
a lot of the
like,
time.
it's the commitment and the loyalty, and like for the boys to openly like have somebody there all the time and that trust, but I know that they know, because my loyalty and the dedication and the commitment that I've given to it. I've never asked for anything. Like, I've just come in and just give, and I do it because I want to do it. I do it because I believe in it. I do it because I know that the three of us will do big things together.
I can't help but laughing. Mate, you got to sit on your hands over there, mate.
Can you sit? Apparently, can I just point out that Matt did his interview, right? And I never butted in. I butted in once. He's got in my camera shot 10 times. He's ruined my.
You're gonna have to send him out the room in a minute.
Yeah, go for a cigarette so I can finish my interview, please.
This is comedy gold. Mate, you won't be able to. Matt, put the door stop under the door, mate. Yeah, because otherwise you won't get back in. There's one out there, mate. There we go.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Don't know. Can't remember. That's like the story of my life working with these two. I'm like, I have to keep.
To be fair, it's a cool dynamic to see, though. I can only imagine if there were three of you, it would be like.
But we say it like there's not three of us. Like, there is three of us. Like, he is, like, he's on FaceTime like all day. Like, we talk to him all day. Like, so we've got a workshop parrot. It's an African grey parrot.
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Do ya?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Why?
So we've got an African grey parrot
That lives in your workshop.
In our workshop. His name's Winnie. He's like part of the furniture. It used to be Jack's family's pet.
Is he a friendly parrot?
Winnie's a good judge of character. If you're a knob, Winnie will know you're a knob and he'll bite you. But Winnie is a good judge of character. He's a little turncoat. Like, he'd bite the hand that feeds him if he was in a bad mood. But he's the funniest thing. Like,
this is what I'm saying there. So my mum used to have an African grey parrot, and the thing was an utter psychopath. Like, little thing, but it was proper demented. It pulled all its feathers out, so it used to have to wear a cone. So it was like African grey with a parrot on its head. A parrot on its head? It was a parrot with a cone on its head. If it didn't have the cone on, it would rip itself to shreds. But it used to come out of the cage. It wouldn't fly, but it would like walk around the cage and then get on the kitchen worktops and walk around the kitchen. My mum had dogs. Used to attack the dogs. It would like walk after the dogs and then try and peck them. And if you went anywhere near the thing, it would go for you. And ever since then, I'm like, I don't like those birds.
Well, he's such a character, and he's been there. Like, he's just part of the furniture, Winnie. And he's like, they mimic your voice. And, I think Matt mentioned, sadly, like, Jack lost his dad, and, he mimics like Joel's voice.
Really? Oh, wow.
And it's nice for Jack, like, to hear that as well. And then he'll come out with the most. He sings Bar Bar Black Sheep. We've taught him a few things because we work opposite a skipyard. And there's a guy on the site called Martin. And they really wind him up by saying his name in a weird way. So they used to stand over the fence by the yard and shout Martin at Winnie. And he said Martin for the first time yesterday. And like, me and Matt were like, oh my God. And going back to like, then it's like straight away, ring Jack. Like, so anything that happens, he's there. And we've actually brought a cardboard cutout of him today. With us.
Where is he?
In the car.
You left him in the car?
We bent his head a little bit, so we didn't want to embarrass him. But it will never not be the three of us.
That's really cool.
And that's why I know that this is a forever thing for us. It will always be the three of us. And it's a very weird dynamic because obviously I'm slap bang in the middle of both of them. But yet I have such a different relationship with them both. Like my friendship with them is so different. Obviously they're different people, but you know, Jack is more like on my wavelength in, you know, we're both just children and our sense of humour is like, you know, we're both very childish. And whereas I'm very on Matt's level with the creativity and the way our brains work, and we're very like, you know, in that sense. Whereas yeah, it's nice. I get the best of both worlds. I've got two best friends with completely different personalities, but then when you bring the three of us together, it's just seamless. I've just slotted straight in, and I don't know. It's just
it seems like you've got a great demographic between the three of you. And to be fair, listening to you talk, you sound more like family. Like I can see the like pain in the loss of what's happened to Jack. When I say loss, I mean just
it's
not being in the
grief.
business
It's
now.
grief.
Yeah. It
It's
is a type of
grief,
grief.
uncertainty and frustration for him. And we've all got, you know, he's got family, he's got babies involved, and you know, Matt's sister, and you know, we're all going through it, and it's all supporting each other. And it's also Matt dealing with it, you know, on a daily basis, because he's got a lot on his shoulders, and he thrives in these situations. You know, you don't realise how strong a tea bag is till you put it in hot water. And it's just been,
I like that one.
I know, it's a great saying.
I keep that one.
It's a
first time I've heard that, and it took me a moment to I like that.
How strong it is till you put it in, and similarly to me, like we thrive in these situations where I'm like, I always come at them both with like all right, this is a massive fuck up, but there's always a solution. And they're like, there's no solution for this. And I'm like, there fucking is. Like, we find a solution. Let's manifest the shit out of this. And it always pulls through. When you've got that mentality, like, we'll make it work. And we do. And that's business, and that's friendship, and that's resilience. And we are resilient. And
yeah. I mean, look, you're a great person to ask this question, because I really think it needs emphasis. But like within people in the trades, how important is marketing and social media?
So important. But I'd say just be authentic to who you are. And I say it, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in or what business you have. People don't buy products; they buy people. You've got big corp companies that, you know, they're not going to put the CEO of like Argos on their Instagram. I get it, but people want to be able to relate. And
come on back in, as long as you're going to behave.
He's about to ruin my shot. So jealous that you've been outside.
Go for a walk if you want, Stace.
No, it's so important. It's something that I think businesses, like you say, don't realise what goes into marketing.
Yeah.
And even just the website, you know, being able to be found on Google.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the fundamentals, like, of
it's
a business.
the way people move now. It really is. I mean, I've been in business long enough. It was like 23, 24 years ago I took over, where the biggest advertising power there was Yellow Pages.
Yeah.
And like, you were defined on your success by the size of your advert in yellow. It was like, oh, he's got a big ad, he must be doing well.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's come on so far now, but there are still people hanging around out there that are like, I don't do social media. I don't need social media.
I mean, we've got a lot of interest at the moment with endorsements, and we're working with a lot of big brands, which is really exciting for us.
Yeah.
But one thing that we've always sort of we pride ourselves on is that we're not going to be someone that we're not. You know, this is who we are, and we don't take ourselves seriously. We churn out some fucking amazing, epic work.
Yeah.
My favourite word, bougie. Everything's bougie. We do like, and what the boys can achieve out of wood is just fucking blows my mind. But we're not going to pretend to be people that we're not.
No. And
you look at our Instagram and our TikTok. I mean, maybe not the TikTok, but we just have a laugh.
You got to stay authentic. I've had little touches on it with the podcast, and like sponsorships and endorsements, which I'm massively grateful for what we've had so far. Another couple of big ones being announced in the coming days. But I've been very much, I'm not changing anything. This is what I am. This is what it is. But I won't I'm not going to go PC. I'm not going to have a sponsor come in and turn around and say, we'll do it, but don't swear or don't talk about this, or, you know, you've got to wear our T-shirt, whatever it might be. It's like, no, this is what it is. And that's what you're touching on, really. You've got to stay authentic.
We were laughing on the way here because you watch our Instagram, and I am so pained when I say to Matt, I know you're busy, but I do need some content. And then I get these shitty videos sent through to me from the site, and I'm like, are you fucking for real? Like, what am I meant to do with this? And then I spend more time editing it than he was actually filming it, because every other word's like fuck or like. And obviously you got to a certain extent on Instagram, you can't plus
voiceovers, Stace. Voiceovers, mate. That's what it's all about. Just cut Matt's volume down and voice it over yourself.
You know, you watch the videos and you think like, oh my god, they're absolute morons. And then we put a picture of a media wall and a resin table last week, and a bar barrel with like resin in it, and everyone's like, your work's just insane.
But the thing is, though, that there's a value in why you do that, though, because you could post one post that then brings in one job that's worth $5,000. You know, and that's what the value is that social media is. And that's why I think, again, in construction, like you think of, I mean, in my industry, jobs can go from like a couple £100 to unlimited. But say builders that do extensions, every job they put out there is like 40, 50, 60, £100,000. Why would you not invest a little bit into your social media to bring in more of those jobs? It's a no-brainer to me, because people used to quite happily spend money on advertising, but now the most effective form of advertising by far, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's social media.
Yeah.
And 90% of the platforms, it's free to
and
do it on.
It was always, again, like going back, it was just at the start, I just kept saying to the boys, like, our business needs to be split into 3 pillars, like the actual craft, the socials, and, you know, our branding, because it's like we've just got to show who we are for people to have belief in what you can do.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, like it's the product. And I'm like, it's not. And then we had a bit of a battle at the beginning.
She's right, Matt. She's right.
And I knew I was right, and I just carried on getting, I just pushed and pushed. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, it's been a journey. It's not even been a long one yet. You know, we're at the start.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys are just listen. I'd love to have you back on in like however long it is once Jack's recovered, and get his perspective on it and talk about where you guys are.
We'll be the first ever three person podcast.
Well, listen. Hopefully down the line, because that's my next sort of target, is upgrading the studio and getting like a capability of having up to 4 people. I can get bored with podcast stuff, but it's like mixers and you have to have more inputs and all this kind of stuff. So that's in my future. So hopefully down the line, you guys will be, you know, a dynamic 3 that are absolutely killing it.
We're not going anywhere. The industry does not know what's here.
I can see that.
We've got a lot to give, and I keep saying, and I know that saying this is where the magic happens. What we have is magic, and the 3 of us are going to do big things together. And watch this space.
100%. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. You guys have got a great relationship, and I can feel the sort of like drive behind what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, social media person, but where can people find you guys? So all your handles, social handles, now is your chance.
Our Instagram is Custom Build Bros. Our TikTok is The Wood Guys.
Okay. Different names.
Alter ego. Go on it and you'll see why.
Right.
The website is www.custombuildbros.co.uk. Matt's phone number is... No. Matt's phone number is 118. No, but that's it. That's where you can find us.
As always, I'll pop those details.
Benfleet, Essex. If anyone wants to come down,
is it open to people coming in?
We've had a massive renovation. That was one of the first things we did, because again, it was like going back to, we want to create a service and we want our customers to come here and have a bespoke end, start to end.
What, like, do you work? Because I would imagine, because we do some work alongside interior designers in my business. Do you go? Because I would imagine that's a demographic that would work with.
Yeah, we're
They
working.
always want custom.
We're working with a couple at the moment, and that side of the business is going to be really exciting, because when you smash one job and you show your potential, it's just ball rolls, because they've got project after project. So it's definitely an area that we're going to sort of push over the coming
any
months.
Designers listening to this that will need some contacts when it comes to custom builds and custom pieces,
we bring the wood and the bands.
There we go. Look these guys up. I'll put all your details in the episode description, as always. Stace, is there anything that we haven't spoken about that you want to cover?
No, I don't think so. I think we've covered all X's, yeah.
In that case, a massive thank you to you guys for giving up your time, dropping in, even if it was a drive-by. And but yeah, massive thank you to you guys. I wish you guys all the success in the future. Obviously, Jack, hope the recovery is swift and full. And I think there's big things to come from you, so I'll be keeping an eye.
And I don't tell you every day, Blake, but on camera, me and Matt love you so much.
Oh, bless.
You lazy prick.
But yeah, listen, down the line, we'll get you guys back in, and we'll have all three, and we'll listen to Jack and his story, and I'm sure that'll be a good one.
He's worried, because he's like, when I come back and I can be on camera and I'm gonna have to jump in, he's like, I've got big shoes to fill with you two, and I was like, yeah.
We'll just be arguing on the sofa.
just let the cameras roll and let you go. There you go. That could be enough anyway. But yeah, on that note, to everyone that's listening, thank you very much. And please like, share, follow, subscribe, do whatever you got to do on the platforms that you're on, because it all helps with the algorithms, and it helps the podcast get out to people that need to hear it. So was there something there, Matt? Algorithm. We have to go algorithms. Yeah, algorithms.
Like, you're ruining the algorithm because you said a swear word.
It's true, though. It is true. The more subscriptions we get.
We're both sharing our social media platform. Can you not look at naked chicks? Because I log onto it and all I see is naked birds.
It's massively true, though. So I've got like 3-4 different Instagram pages. So I've got like my personal one that I've got like 200 photos, just me and my family.
Your OnlyFans one.
Yeah, that one. I've got the Talking Tradesman, then I've got my painting decorating business, and each one, if I go onto like Reels, my personal one, it's all like car crashes and fighting. My Talking Tradesman one is all mental health related, and the decorating one is all building trades,
so
painting, decorating.
Pick how you feel that day.
Essentially, yeah. So, but that's what the algorithm shows you. So, help me out on the algorithm. Like shallow. I don't even know what words I combine there. Like, share, follow. There you go. And what that will do, it will show the podcast to more people, which is what we want to do. So thank you very much.
Share Jack's story.
These guys' details will be in the description. Go check them out. Thank you very much.
See you later.